What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Knowing the Game. And if you're new to Knowing the Game, then be sure to subscribe because I have a lot of great content and I have a lot more coming. So today's topic, I'm going to be covering the evolution of the male player. So to start things off, there's two types of different players. And with each of those players, there's a lot of subcategories that fall under them, but we're not going to go over those right now because that'll be a 2 or 3 hour video, and I'm not trying to do that, and you're not trying to watch for that long. Okay, your next question is probably, why do I call it evolution? And I say because it all has to start somewhere. It all has to evolve from somewhere. But with each category, there's a certain set of situations or circumstances that causes this person to evolve into this player that they are today. And we're going to go over each one. Alright, the first example is going to be called the premature player. Now he's premature because he peaks at his player level fairly early. He's usually the bad boy, the rebel in high school or college or wherever that all the females are attracted to, so all the sex and everything comes. Also in that category are the athletes. Especially the ones that are the most popular ones, the ones that are making the most noise in the newspaper every week. They're going to college, or they might even go pro if we're talking about college. Those are also players in essence as well, because the women just flock to them. They don't really have to work for it. So in essence, they're premature players. They haven't really blossomed into whatever type of game they need to learn later on in life to get a higher quality woman. You recognize these guys, and you probably remember them because you probably dated some of them, or if you're a guy watching this video, you're probably one of them, so you're probably going to get a kick out of this. But usually this is the guy that's dressed up in all the nice clothes, all the latest fashion trends. He hangs with the wrong crowd. He's smoking all his weed. He's able to get alcohol at a young age, and for some reason the girls they like the bad boys, so they kind of gravitate towards that. And him being him, that's all he knows. That's all the game he knows. And he thinks that's gonna work forever, and so he keeps using it forever. So when you go to the club when you're like 30 or 40 and you still have guys saying hey ma, or grabbing you on your arm, or still dressing like they did in high school or college, that's why, because they never actually had a chance to evolve that game because they became a player prematurely. And the second example is going to be the late bloomer. Now this is the guy, he was more focused on his studies. I mean, he was a nerd. He may not have grown into himself. He may not have been exactly a looker or handsome or anything back in the day. He didn't have any game. So he was always on the outside looking in. He wanted to be like the premature player, but he couldn't because he didn't have those, he didn't have that draw appeal back then. So he focused more on his studies. And as he got older, he had a chance to evolve into his game a little bit more because he found out there was value in what he was bringing with his knowledge. And so this late bloomer guy, what happens with him is he actually strikes gold later on in life. When he hits his late 20s, early 30s, that's when he has the most sex appeal, and that's when they come flocking to him. So that's when he begins his player stage. Now usually, I mean, he's pretty knowledgeable about certain things, so he doesn't feed into it too much. He takes advantage, of course, but eventually it's going to run its course because he realizes there's a lot more to life than just being out there chasing women. So that's probably going to run its course over maybe 5, 6, maybe even 7 years. After that, gets all out of his system, once he figures out that everything that he wanted to do back in high school or college wasn't really that big of a deal, then he's going to be ready to settle down. Now on the other end of that spectrum, the premature player, his peak is winding down. His glory days are kind of over. Once he hits his mid-20s to late 20s, he's probably got 4 or 5 kids. He's probably put on a whole bunch of weight. He's not in his glory days anymore. So then he's going to decide that maybe now it's time to settle down. Generally, the premature player, he's usually not as economically or financially advanced as the late bloomer because he spent most of his time partying and chasing women, so he didn't really focus on his career the way he should have. Now the late bloomer, he's been so focused on his career that he's economically and financially stable, so he's good to go. So he can settle down at any time. He probably hadn't even popped out a whole bunch of kids, if any, because he realized how much they cost and how much he would have had to struggle had he done that at an early age. Folks, there you have it. Those are the two types of players. You have the premature and you have the late bloomer. But also, while you're at it, be sure to check out my first book, Knowing the Game, Part 1. But anyway, be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and of course, keep tuning in and keep listening. I got a lot more coming.